top of that, it's generally not how they think.
Right.
You know? I mean, look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap. Just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. All the money, you got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that. Iran Barkley, when he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond-crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself, like, draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment.
Joe Rogan is painting a cautionary tale that sounds like a Hollywood money montage with a brutal final act. In his telling, Floyd Mayweather didn't just earn big, he stacked a fortune so huge it looked untouchable, the kind of money people assume can't possibly run out. But Rogan says the real problem wasn't the size of the checks, it was the way the spending became a show in itself. Luxury cars, glittering watches, and collectible splurges kept piling up, while the unglamorous realities, like taxes, got brushed aside under the belief that another payday would always be waiting. Rogan's takeaway is stark: that mindset can turn even legendary earnings into a near billion-dollar wipeout.
How that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
Mm-hmm. They trying to keep up.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know?
No
Chad
one know.
Ochocinco.
Exactly.
It's
Fake
like when
jewelry,
they look at him, like
flying economy. He was sleeping at the stadium, like, so he didn't have to pay for an apartment. So smart.
Yeah.
So clever, you know? But that
Rogan also argues that Mayweather's image wasn't just rich athlete, it was built like a brand campaign, with wealth as the headline. The flash, the flex, the constant reminders that he could buy what most people only see behind glass. Rogan suggests that was part of the persona Floyd sold to the public. And now, Rogan says, the downside of living that loudly is that the fallout becomes just as visible. When your entire identity is tied to showing everyone the receipts, people don't just notice the shine, they notice when the shine starts to look strained, too.
watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but I want to show you, when I show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like, fuck, $5 million. And so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Former Special Operations sniper Nicholas Irving describes Mayweather's routine like an endless VIP itinerary where off days don't exist. In his account, Floyd is constantly on the move, traveling nonstop, living in high roller spaces, and chasing that next adrenaline hit in casinos. Irving claims the spending is so intense it can feel like a daily burn rate hovering around $1 million. Between gambling, luxury travel, and round-the-clock indulgence, he frames Mayweather's lifestyle as something closer to a 24/7 spectacle than a typical celebrity splurge.
Oh, of course, the gambling, you know, casinos and all that. He lives a very interesting lifestyle, very fast-paced. I think the average person will have a hard time keeping up, but it's the amount of it. You got the private jets, you got the cars. But no, he could easily spend a few $500,000, $1 million+ in a day, like easy. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, $400 million in a fight, and you put into like a high escrow or something like that, yeah, you keep pulling in really good interest. But I don't know. I know the dude can spend a lot of money like it's nothing. Like $1 million, $2 million, $5 million for Floyd in a day or a week is like nothing.
Yeah, that's insanity. I mean, it would not surprise me if all of this is hyperbole. You know, I've always looked at Floyd as a very, very smart person, not just in the ring, but outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And I say this because much of what we see, it's the show. He understood. He was in show business.
Yep.
DJ Vlad says a major jeweler told him Floyd Mayweather might be struggling financially because of years of lavish spending on jewelry, watches, cars, and luxury items.
Because I don't see Mayweather even doing any goofy shit like that.
But you would think that your investments would continue to grow,
right?
As long as you keep your spending under wraps. Like right now, like I could retire right now. This could be my last interview ever,
right?
And with my investments, you know, I invested into a lot of great companies like Google and Amazon and Tesla over the years, and those companies have all grown and continue to grow, right? And I could actually borrow money against my stock portfolio without even selling my stocks.
Right.
So I assumed that Mayweather was in a similar spot because he made so much cash, and if you invested even in common stocks, you should do pretty well. But I mean, listen, Mayweather never flies commercial. He's only flying private.
So he doesn't own his own plane?
I don't think so. I've never seen a Mayweather plane, like a Drake plane. I've never seen that. Not to say that he doesn't.
DJ Vlad adds another layer to the chatter, saying he heard a telling remark from someone who would know the luxury world up close. According to Vlad, a prominent jeweler suggested that Mayweather's finances might not be as bulletproof as fans assume. The implication is simple but sharp: years of pouring money into jewelry, watches, exotic cars, and every high-end temptation can eventually catch up even to someone who once looked like the definition of untouchable. Vlad presents it as industry whisper, but it's the kind of whisper that spreads fast when the name involved is Mayweather.
What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company. Who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view? It is
Chael Sonnen approaches it less like gossip and more like a reality check about combat sports and celebrity. He points out that boxing can make you rich, but it can also leave you vulnerable once the spotlight shifts and the paydays shrink. In Sonnen's view, retirement isn't just about leaving the ring, it's about learning to live without the constant wave of attention and money that came with being the main event. He suggests a lot of fighters struggle with that transition, because the world moves on, prime years pass, and the machine that once printed millions doesn't keep running forever.
Talked to Floyd, I've asked him questions about this. And rule number one is, if Floyd ain't talking about it and Floyd ain't promoting it, then it's just talk.
They're accusing him of going broke because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's his broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes are still there, because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof. Right? So I don't know, unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances. They always accuse the man of going broke. So maybe he's...
Whack 100 puts it in the blunt, street-smart language that always grabs headlines. He claims Mayweather dealt with money pressure for a long stretch of his career, and he frames Floyd's financial reality with a shocking benchmark. For someone living at that level, even $20 million might not feel like security, it might feel like broke. Whack also tries to underline that he isn't speaking as a distant commentator. He insists he actually knows Floyd, positioning his take as insider perspective rather than just another loud opinion tossed into the celebrity rumor mill.
Legitimacy to that? Like, how on God's green earth could this man be broke?
His lifestyle. I've been around like hanging out for days, weeks. It's the lifestyle. Like when you got a 40-man entourage, you got other people, and you take everybody out, pay for everything, shopping, the mall, going out to eat, renting out an entire movie theater. Yeah, just to go watch a movie at whatever time he wanted. It was like the theater was closed when we rolled up to the movie theater, and you know, you got the girls and all. Yeah, and you rent out a whole movie theater for 40, 50 plus people. I bet that bill can...
Irving expands on his argument by saying the alleged money issues aren't only about what Mayweather bought for himself, but what he financed for everyone around him. He describes a lifestyle where luxury wasn't occasional, it was the baseline, and it extended to an entire entourage that moved like a traveling production. He points to examples that sound like superstar excess on steroids, taking the whole crew on extravagant shopping runs, paying for private jets as if they were rideshares, and even renting out an entire movie theater for a private viewing. Irving's message is that when you normalize those kinds of flexes, the daily costs can quickly climb into the hundreds of thousands and in extreme moments, push past $1 million. Irving says the deeper danger wasn't the spending itself, but the absence of a serious long-term safety net. In his telling, the money didn't consistently flow into durable investments or stable projects that could keep Mayweather secure once the party slowed down. Instead, most of the energy went into the things he enjoyed right now.